at Gillette Stadium. Here are Brandon Gaudin and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Mass. All the success in New England over the last few decades, and this crowd has never been more enthusiastic. A moment ago, the Pats emerged from their locker room. They are set as they'll square off with Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. Seated next to Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, this one featuring a couple of playoff teams from a season ago, back at it again in 2019.
And we both felt the confidence from both of these teams, right? They feel like they will be back in the playoffs again, but they shouldn't be overconfident. 7 teams last year made the playoffs that didn't make it the previous year, so you're not assured of going back year after year.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Time to see Tom Brady work his magic on offense with the rest of the New England Patriots crew. The Patriots 9-1. Week 11 were able to eke out a win in Philly 17-10. Interesting, it's the third time this year, Charles, that Brady has not thrown a touchdown pass, but they still got the W.
They certainly did, and he also made a little bit of extra news on his radio show when he talked about how frustrated he's been with the offense. You know, he thinks that they're just grinding out wins, not scoring enough points. They're 15th in the league in scoring. A lot of people say, big deal. So what? You're 9-1. He's thinking playoffs and Super Bowl, and he doesn't want any of those weaknesses to be exposed at the worst possible time. He's trying to get his team motivated right now.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
He's going to have the hook up to Izzo. And this play comes to a halt at the 33, and obviously that's well short of the first down. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
There's an example of good situational football.
And look here, it's an opening drive fake. And this is incomplete. A huge gamble, and it does not pay off. They fake the punt. It doesn't work out. And Dallas, they'll take over in terrific field position. It's such a risky play there to fake it. You're either the hero or the GOAT. Here they're going to be the GOAT.
Unfortunate, too, because you know they thought they had something there. They don't call it just to call it. They don't just say, oh, what the heck, let's go ahead and fake it here. They feel
Prescott stripped.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
A pass for negative yardage, obviously no good. Maybe he shouldn't have thrown it, or maybe he shouldn't have caught it.
And I think we were seeing it at the same time, weren't we? Maybe you let that one go, right? Because you can see the lost yardage about to develop. But that goes against every instinct of a receiver. They're taught to catch everything. So it's really hard to be mad at him and yell at him for trying to make that play. All right, that one fell incomplete there. But the best quarterbacks, they'll miss on 40% of their throws somewhere in that neighborhood, similar to a great hitter in baseball who's going to fail 7 out of 10 times and still have a great year. In this case, you want perfection, but way better that it hits the ground instead of going to an opposite color jersey.
Was a kicker from that distance, 56, 57 yards. So many things you got to worry about, but I am a little surprised he didn't get it there.
Yeah, with the way kickers are nowadays, we're surprised anything under 65 that it doesn't get at least to the crossbar. But remember this, you have to drive it a little bit lower in order to make that distance, and you also have to be worried about the interior rush that they can get their hands on it. So that's why those stronger kickers nowadays who can pop it up in the air and still travel and carry it, that's who you're looking for.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. A quarterback sneak on 2nd down. Only a yard there on the keeper, and that's going to leave him with a 3rd down. So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. And they tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to.
And great special teams work here. This is knocking on the door of the 5. They'll spot it at the 6-yard line.
Well, someone's going to be happy with that effort. You know who else is going to be happy? His defense.
Absolutely.
He's created a very long field for that offense to try to traverse.
And he got some help from Mr. Football there, checking up nicely. Good English on that punt. A run on first down, but it's not going to get him much. Maybe a yard, and that's all. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. They'll try the right side with Elliott. And he's only able to work this from the 8 to the 10 for a pickup of 2.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace. It's a great job by this secondary. When I watch them, they remind me of elite defenders on a basketball court, right? They want to contest each and every pass.
Great contest on 3rd down to bring up 4th. Unable to corral him. He fights through. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the Patriots take over. Patriots taking the field again here offensively, as we discussed earlier, Charles. They continue to find a way to grind out victories, even if Tom Brady hasn't been extremely pleased with the offense. But 9-1 after the win at Philly. And with that 9th win, they cement a 19th consecutive winning season, only one behind the all-time record set by Dallas from the mid-60s until the mid-80s.
Their consistency in a league that's built to make teams 8-8 as a general rule, it's just off the charts amazing. Year after year, rosters change, people change. Well, Tom Brady doesn't change. And this team plays awfully well. And this year, the story's been their defense.
Well, they're going to be tested, by the way, the next 3 weeks. Home for the Cowboys, then at Houston, and back home for Kansas City. 25 yards that time.
I've got to make sure that I don't take Tom Brady's greatness for granted, that we make it routine. How about that throw right there?
Yeah.
Another great completion.
And you know one area where he honed his throwing? He was a catcher in high school. He was actually drafted by the Expos in 1995 in the 18th round.
Wow, that would have been something to see him behind the dish.
Think he gunned down a few guys?
Gunned down a few guys trying to steal second. That would have been fun to watch.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. To the end zone, but it's incomplete. He was looking for Julian Edelman that time. And it's 3rd down. An incomplete pass on 2nd down. It muddles things a little bit here. This is 3rd and 10. And that will be incomplete. They couldn't hook up on what's going to be the final play of this first quarter. We're scoreless after 1. Brady not coming to the sideline. They're going to go for it here on 4th. Brady going to go on 4th down. And this is caught. Touchdown, Patriots. Benjamin Watson. His first touchdown on the year, as his guys are first onto the scoreboard here this afternoon. Well, that drive felt like it took up an eternity. We finally have some action on the scoreboard.
Yeah, but plenty of action prior to, because that drive took up all the first quarter before we spilled into the second, and finally, points were registered.
On the other sideline, they're chomping at the bit just to get the football. They had to go to the monitor, get an extra look. That's what the technology is for. And this touchdown will count. No, he missed the PAT. No good on the extra point, so a letdown there. And this will stay a 6-point ball game. Boy, I guess they're going to keep trying to put the pedal to the metal here. They're going to try an onside kick. And this one travels out of bounds, so unsuccessful there on the onside kick try.
And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
Off play action to Elliott. Here's Prescott. Oh, Prescott stripped. Gets through, and now an opening.
They can't stop us, baby. Every time, it's a sack. Come on, brother.
Call it luck or skill, whatever the case is, they're feeling good about just keeping the football there.
Yeah, the biggest thing that they're calling it now, our ball. They don't care if it was luck or skill. Or the panic that jumps up in your chest when that ball's on the ground. Whether you get it or your teammate gets it, just as long as you maintain possession, that's all you're looking for. An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they did. And that's intercepted. It's the all-pro corner, Stephon Gilmore. Fights him off. Still going. A big seam, and he might go all the way. 20. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Patriot defense has a touchdown. Now remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
Shows that they set an aggressive tone.
Oh, and it's a fake. They'll try and throw for it. And would you believe it? This is caught in the end zone. And the fake extra point works to extend their lead by 2. And there's a quick momentum swing. INT return for a pick 6, and then the 2-point conversion good.
And even if you're keeping your wits about you, you're thinking to yourself, okay, extra point block team going into the game now. All of a sudden you're hearing defense. Everyone's scrambling for their helmets and throwing down their cups of water. That's a great position for them to be in, trying to score against that team. A little bit disjointed.
Dak and the Cowboy offense heading back onto the field. He's got to dig deep here, doesn't he? Team's losing. He's not playing well either.
And they always tell you, don't press. You'll make things a little bit worse. But in this particular situation, you try and heighten your play a little bit. So far, he's thrown 1 interception. He wants to balance that off with at least 1 touchdown pass in order to get his team back moving forward.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Elliott running right. He takes this for 3 to the 29.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting. Maybe not so much in the second half and into bigger runs later.
His first catch. Down. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
I'm going back to you.
They play fake to Elliott. Now Prescott. It is intercepted. Picked up by Jonathan Jones. And the return stops just a little bit shy of midfield at the 48-yard line. Cooper was the intended target. And with that, folks, I want to remind you to join the NFL Salute to Service. This season, the NFL and its players are honoring those who proudly serve our country, and fans are encouraged to join NFL players in writing letters to service members and their families. To learn how you can send your letter today, visit NFL.com/salute. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Brady now to throw. This one complete to Mohamed Sanu. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 14 yards is the pickup there and a New England first down.
First and 10 at the 38-yard line.
2 minutes to play, first half. It's 14-0. And we remind you, coming up at the half, we'll join who, Charles?
The coach.
The coach, Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. There he goes, Julian Edelman. And all the way in. Touchdown, New England. Julian Edelman, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Patriots, they add on to their lead. So now Brady and the Patriots going for 2. They'll try and run it here. And he gets halfway there, down to the 1-yard line.
Well, they couldn't be happy that they were having to stop a 2-point conversion because that means they gave up a touchdown. But a little solace there. You saw some good gang tackling, stacking him up before he can get to the end zone.
We talk about offensive units putting in more 2-point period sessions in practice. Defensively, do you do the same?
Absolutely. You have to because you never know how aggressive these offenses are going to be in games nowadays.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And there is Amari Cooper, his first catch. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. 17 yards on the play there, and the Cowboys have a first down. Prescott looks to throw on first. And his throw is incomplete. Jason Witten, the intended target. But it's going to be second down. From the 21, it's 2nd and 10. Prescott to throw it. Got his man there, complete to Gallup. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. And they'll get 9 there as that sets them up better for third down. Now the Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. They had the catch on second down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at third down here. And again, it's Prescott. And this is caught. It's Cooper. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Amari Cooper with touchdown number 8 on the year, as they are now on the board here in the first half. The way this one was going, you just got the sense they needed something before half. They've at least got something on the board now. Still trailing, but a good sign.
That takes me back to our preseason tour of NFL camps. You remember we talked with that one coach who said his emphasis this year was scoring in the last 2 minutes of a half, heading into the locker room. This hits it right there. Take that momentum, take that good feeling, and take it to the locker room, regroup, and start over. They got it here.
They did indeed, and a lot of football, full half to be played. This fielded at the 2. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Julian Edelman gets ready to take the field again here on offense. And CD, assuming he stays healthy, assuming the health, should get to that 1,000-yard mark pretty easily.
And the best part of what he's done so far is it allows him and the team to relax their pursuit a little bit. Meaning, if they just have normal games, they'll get to the 1,000-yard mark. They don't have to force anything. But one of the reasons he's having the year he's having is what I call route-running arrogance. They think there's no one that can cover them, no matter how many people are put in his direction. It just doesn't matter. He's going to find a way to beat them. And so far this year, he's done exactly that.
He sure has. The final shot before half for Brady. And this is caught. It's Edelman. And with a clock reading zeros, he is into the end zone. What an exclamation mark to the end of this second quarter.
Indeed. Indeed. Well, my education continues in this game, I've got to tell you, because there's not an analyst in the world that would have said pass up the field goal here, go for it, and expect for it to be successful, and it was. I mean, they're playing this one just like a video game.
Especially for the final play of the first half to have the guts to do that. But I guess, what do we say? The end will justify the means, right?
No doubt about it. For you and me, we live, we learn.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. Things starting to get interesting in this final weekend before Thanksgiving. So let's see what's going on around the NFL. We'll start up at New Era Field just outside of Buffalo, where it was the Bills who pick up the victory at home. Josh Allen, 2 touchdown passes as his guys remain unbeaten. From there, we head over to the Windy City. Check on the Bears at home, Soldier Field. And they were winners in that one over the visiting New York Giants. Mitchell Trubisky, 2 touchdown passes as his guys.
Due to time constraints, we move you forward in today's broadcast to the beginning of the third quarter. And how about this line out of the locker room? An onside kick attempt. And the Cowboys are able to recover.
Illegal touching. Offense.
So they hit the ball before it went 10 yards. I know that's tough, but you got to stay disciplined.
It is difficult because you're so eager to go get the football. It's that type of a play, but you're exactly right. Have to have the discipline to let it go 10 first.
Here's Elliott. And he'll go down at the 28. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. They go to Elliott again. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. Give him 10 there, good enough for a Cowboy first down. So after a good run by Zeke, another 1st and 10. Out of the gun, here's Prescott. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete. The safety, Patrick Chung, got a hand in, knocked it away. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Here's Prescott. He's going to find Gallup here complete. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down. This defense tightening up a bit. That last catch just 1 yard, making it 3rd and 9. Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on 3rd down.
A 34-yard attempt.
Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. It's picked up. A live ball here, remember.
Well, that field goal block pretty much sums up the day for them, doesn't it?
Boy, it really does. What's the word we often use? Symptomatic. It's just been a sign of how this one's gone.
Give a lot of credit to the guys who got in and blocked the kick. They've had the advantage all game. They continue to press it.
So now a chance for points in the opposite direction after the blocked field goal. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And oh, he sheds a tackle. Now he's got some space. There he goes, right side. And all the way in. Touchdown, New England. Sony Michel with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Patriots, they add on to their lead. And that run massively increased his production in this game, and now he's over 100 yards.
And break out your calculator, partner, because his yards per carry went up significantly, right? Big-time jaunt all the way to the end zone.
On for the extra point is Folk. Oh, it's a fake. They'll try and throw for him. His throw caught at about the 5. And, boy, talk about adding insult to injury. He's into the end zone to tack on 2 more. Oh, boy, rubbing a little salt in the wound there, going for 2 up this big.
You know, there's one time when I played, Brandon, and played against a team that was just absolutely pile driving us. And they ended up going for 2 late in the game. And I asked one of the guys, why'd you do that? He said, because we wanted to win by more. That feels like that type of situation.
Wow. Well, it could also result in a melee later, though. They'll try and get the running game going with Elliott. And he's going to get this down near the 30-yard line. 13 yards and a first down, Cowboys.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
Let's go.
10th carry now for Elliott. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. 7 yards there and a first down. On 1st and 10, Prescott. His throw caught right around the 6. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. Sets him up nicely. 1st and goal. It was a pickup of 14. With Cole Beasley now in Buffalo, you think that might open up some more targets for Michael Gallup. Last year as a rookie, 33 catches for the Dallas Cowboys. Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal. And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal.
You got nothing.
They'll try again with Elliott. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a 3rd down. Gotta figure this is one they need here on 3rd and goal. Looking to throw. Prescott. Oh, Prescott stripped. So it goes as a fumble, but the key thing, not a fumble loss.
Yeah, that stat's big, isn't it? I mean, I remember watching teams play. The ball might be on the ground a number of times during the game, but if the other team doesn't get it, that's a huge difference in the ball game. And in this case, they were able to retain possession.
Of course, the door for Maher was opened after a little bit of a surprise move. The Cowboys letting go of Dan Bailey last year.
Yeah, Maher took over in the preseason. He's from Nebraska via the Canadian Football League where he kicked for 4 years. And I saw him personally make 2 game-winning field goals last season against Detroit and in Atlanta.
New England with a 1st down as they begin the drive. This is sort of what you would call the put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still 3rd quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. A 10-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Patriot 1st down.
Brendan, every great running backs coach I've talked with has always talked about when you have great vision, you're not consciously thinking about your cuts and your moves, you're just doing them. And I think that's what we're seeing tonight. He's got to run them into submission, hasn't he?
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to use that phrase. He has run them into submission.
Wave the white flag.
On the toss, here's Michel. And he's got this one across midfield into Cowboy territory. Call it a gain of 4, and it'll leave him with a 3rd down and 6 to go. Michel, they toss it out right to him. They get the first. The decision to run on 3rd and medium winds up being a good one.
He's still rumbling, isn't he? Still looking fresh in this one despite the heavy workload. But you and I both know, well-conditioned, and he did tell us that he thrives on being at his peak late in ball games.
On 1st down, a running play ends up going backwards as he won't get close to the line of scrimmage. In fact, he's going to lose 4 yards. On 2nd down, Michel. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball.
And this is caught. And he just falls short down at the 1-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Boy, another big play late here for an offense, Charles, that certainly has had its fair share of big plays.
Coverage has been a problem all game long, and I would say that going along with that has been confidence. Because even if they had the right coverage, they've still dented them, and now it's been a real issue for them during this game.
And Brady will sneak it. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the keeper, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
Is it okay if I break one of our rules, partner, which is to never call a game over until it's over? because this certainly feels like it's over after that drive.
Yeah, that was spirit-crushing, wasn't it? And now you just kind of felt the air go out of the balloon.
Yeah, they were fighting so hard to stay in there, and they knew they had to stop them on that drive. But when they were unable to, I think you're exactly right. You could see them sag on their sideline, and I think this one might just be over.
Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. This is taken just shy of the 10 here. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. Defensively, you said coming in earlier in the broadcast, the magic number was 20 points for you. That's what you thought they would have to hold this offense to, or less than that. And, wow, they've done that in a big way, haven't they?
Not only have they done it, they put themselves in a great position to win this one because holding them down was paramount. If they could get it done, but guess what? We see the end result. Right now, they have their eye on victory.
And leading here in the fourth. 2nd and 10 now from the 27.
Here we go.
Throwing. Prescott. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off by Dante Hightower. And his guys will take over at the 25-yard line. So the Patriots with a football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Oh, he's able to outmuscle him here as he pulls it in. Mark that as a gain of 16 to set him up 1st and goal. He's certainly been a huge factor in this one. He's got the 2 touchdowns to his credit. Now they look to him again. He picks up the 1st.
Yeah, I can hear everyone saying, well, why don't you cover him, double him, triple him, do what you have to do. But sometimes they get locked into such a groove and such a connection, it doesn't matter how many guys are in his area.
He certainly looks to be in that groove right now. And give him another 6. It's caught for a touchdown, and the blowout continues. So another score there, and often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. And this one travels out of bounds. So unsuccessful there on the onside kick try.
Kicking team.
So they will accept the penalty and move forward. Prescott now just 7 of 16 passing thus far, but he's got a 1st and 10. Prescott. And that's intercepted. It's the all-pro corner, Stephon Gilmore. And they will finally get him as he's all the way down near the 40-yard line. And they will finally get him as he's all the way down near the 40-yard line.
So many times we end a game, and as we're recapping it, we're talking about what offenses did and how they won the game. Let's flip this one over. The defense, they frustrated the offense the entire ball game. That's why they're walking out of here with a victory.
And they're going to love to walk out of here with that as their final act, that interception. Good way for them to end it. Brady's incompletion on 1st down leads to a 2nd and 10. The throw on 2nd down by Brady is incomplete. He was trying to go back to Edelman, and it's 3rd down. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well. Jeff Heath, the strong safety, able to get in there on the coverage.
There was no secret who they were trying to get the football to.
Well, no, they went to him on 1st down, 2nd down, 3rd down, all 3 incomplete.
Yeah, and when you're unable to connect and you force it in that direction, all you're doing is giving confidence to the defense. They feel like they're really hurting you in a big way.
Here's the Dallas offense now, heading back out onto the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in a game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
Another throw on 2nd down, and this one incomplete as well. On 3rd down, it's Prescott. The Pats are going to get there. Down he goes.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Dak and the offense still out there. They are going to go for it. 4th down, Prescott. And they will not be able to hook up there. It's incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And now possession will go over inside the 15-yard line. Brady flush to his right. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's 2nd down. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Pats, they get win number 10 on the year as they move to 10-1. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Houston Texans. Meanwhile, for the Cowboys, it's a loss that sets them back in their playoff push as they fall to 6-5. And they'll have a quick turnaround as they're back in action Thursday Eastern.